Ginny Foat invented reinventing yourself. But to understand that statement, you have to go back to the beginning, Brooklyn. Ginny was born to first-generation Italian-American parents with traditional values. She and her sister were raised with the expectation that they would marry and raise their children in much the same fashion, but that wasn't exactly what Ginny had in mind. After graduation from high school and a quick stint in college, she realized that the school of life held far more potential for her. So armed with all of the poise that a Manhattan charm school could give her, she entered the workforce as a flight attendant for Allegheny Airlines. Ginny's glamorous career took her to such exotic locales as Cleveland, Ohio, and Erie, Pennsylvania. Her next foray into the workforce was as an executive assistant at a school for inner-city youth. The job required Ginny to join a union, the very same union that asked her to organize bus transports to what was billed as the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Yes, she was at that march. The experience of the march and Dr. King's electrifying speech was the spark that lit the fire of social activism. Matters of the heart took Ginny out of New York and all the way to California. What inspired her to take up figure-8 car racing, however, is another matter altogether. Perhaps it was that same sense of curiosity and adventure that led her to enroll in a life-changing women's self-awareness seminar in 1979. For Ginny, it was a short leap from beehives to bra burning. Ginny was drawn to the National Organization for Women and propelled through its ranks. As the president of California Now, she advocated for the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment and formed important relationships with some of the most influential women and politicians of the day. Accusations, trials, vindication, and an autobiography set the stage for a new activist path for Ginny, who had relocated to San Francisco in 1982. She became a strong and successful advocate for women in prison, even as she was running her own B&B for women travelers. That's our Ginny, making omelets with one hand and making phone calls with the other. In 1987, Ginny moved back to Los Angeles. At this point in the story, you have to assume that a new city meant a new love. But this time, this love, this move, would be different. Ginny relocated to L.A. to be with Pamela, now her partner of 25 years, whom she legally married in 2008. She joined Pamela in her successful Los Angeles restaurant nightclub, The Rose Tattoo, but her tenure there was to be short-lived. Predictably, what started as a volunteer commitment turned into a career. At a time when the fearful grip of HIV and AIDS prevented even the most compassionate among us from becoming involved, Ginny became executive director of a fledgling nonprofit organization caring for babies with AIDS. Through Ginny's 9-year leadership, CBA set the standard of care for the youngest victims of the AIDS crisis and became a model for other organizations. Drawn to the challenge of a national platform, in 1998, Ginny accepted an assignment with the YWCA as its National Director of Regional Services in New York City. In 1999, Pam and Ginny made their Palm Springs weekend home into their year-round residence. They bought a commercial building, and Ginny opened up an antique store. In case you've been keeping track, we're up to reinvention number 8, but can you imagine Ginny as just a shop owner? In short order, she became president of the Uptown Business Association and was appointed to the city's budget task force.
In 2003, Ginny ran for city council and has been re-elected twice. Her time on the council has been spent in service to her constituents and the city that she loves. She originated the Palm Springs Neighborhood Involvement Committee. She recognized the desperate need for a homeless shelter and became one of the founders of Roy's Desert Resource Center. A tearful visit to the former Palm Springs Animal Shelter propelled her to join the Friend of the Palm Springs Animal Shelter and to convince her fellow council members to commit $5 million and helped raise an additional $1 million for the new state-of-the-art shelter. Tireless in her efforts, Ginny serves on many subcommittees of the council, CVAG, RCTC, and the League of California Cities.
Ginny has changed jobs, changed careers, changed hairstyles, changed her hair color, changed dresses, changed coasts, and changed teams, so to speak. But what has never changed is her commitment to the underrepresented, the underserved, and the disenfranchised. Now, as executive director for the Mizell Senior Center, she continues to give back to her community. In a town where everyone knows who she is, it is arguably ironic that those whose lives she has changed most profoundly are those who may never even know her name.